all been there, right? You're navigating those endless corridors, listening for gate announcements, maybe sighing at the price of a bottle of water. But behind that whole experience, there is a massive, multi-billion-dollar business machine. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how that machine works. So, picture this. You're at the gate. You've got your coffee, you're scrolling on your phone, just waiting for that boarding call. And you might think, is it just the airlines, that little coffee shop? Well, the truth is, it's this incredibly complex ecosystem. And the answer is probably not what you'd expect. Yeah, the modern airport is one of the most fascinating business models out there, and we're going to unpack it all using the very latest 2025 financial data from two of the world's biggest and most successful players. So here's our flight path for this explainer. We'll start with the core business model, then check out two very different success stories, Aena's global empire and Hanada's five-star hub. And finally, we'll take a peek into the future. Ready for takeoff? Let's go! Okay, so this is the single most important thing to get. To really understand how an airport works, you have to know that it doesn't just have one stream of income. It basically has two completely different wallets. On one side, you've got what's called aeronautical revenue. This is the stuff that makes sense, right? It's the money from the planes, airlines pay fees to land, to park at the gate, and for their passengers to use the terminal. But the second wallet, commercial revenue, that's where things get really, really interesting. This is all the money made from us, the passengers. Every coffee we buy, every book, every parking spot, every duty-free purchase. It is the hidden engine of the entire airport economy. And this chart really just lays it all out. These are the numbers for AENA, one of the biggest airport operators on the planet. In just the first 9 months of 2025, they brought in over 2.5 billion euros from airline fees. But look at that other slice, a whopping 1.45 billion euros from commercial stuff. That second wallet isn't just a side hustle, it's a massive, critical part of their business. All right, so let's dig into our first case study and see how this plays out. This is Aena, and they represent the scale model, achieving incredible success by building a sprawling global empire. And when I say success, I'm not kidding. In just the first 3 quarters of 2025, Aena posted a net profit of nearly 1.6 billion euros. This is a company that is just incredibly good at making money. But how do they do it? Well, they do it through sheer massive scale. On top of managing pretty much every airport in Spain, Aena has a huge international footprint. We're talking London-Luton, 17 airports in Brazil, a dozen in Mexico, you get the idea. Their strategy is pretty simple. Get bigger, diversify, and dominate markets all over the world. And this table here is where you see how they turn that scale into cash. Of course, duty-free and food are huge, bringing in over €500 million together. But you know what's really telling? Look at where the growth is. Car rentals, up 27% from last year. And VIP services, lounges, fast tracks, they've exploded, up a massive 33%. They're even turning the land around their airports into airport cities, which is a whole new real estate game. Okay, so let's pivot from Aena's go big or go home strategy to a completely different playbook. We're heading to Tokyo's Haneda Airport, which is all about the quality model. Instead of global expansion, they are laser-focused on creating a world-class passenger experience. And they are ridiculously good at it. I mean, for 11 years straight, Skytrax has named Haneda a 5-star airport. It also wins awards for being the cleanest, the best for domestic flights, you name it. This place isn't just an airport, it's the benchmark for what an airport should be. So, does all that focus on quality actually pay off? Oh yeah, absolutely. In just the first half of its fiscal year, Japan Airport Terminal, that's Haneda's operator, pulled in a net income of 13.4 billion yen. Quality is clearly very, very good for business. So where does that money come from? This chart tells the whole story. You see, facilities management, that's the aeronautical side. It's a big piece of the pie. But look at the #1 revenue driver, merchandise sales. That's almost 75 billion yen from people shopping. This is that second wallet theory just taken to the absolute extreme. And they do this by just relentlessly investing in the passenger experience. They aren't just maintaining the place, they are constantly upgrading it. They've redone food courts, they've expanded the fancy boutiques like Hermes and Chanel, and they even added a special pickup counter just for online duty-free orders to cut down on lines. Every single move is designed to make the airport more comfortable, more convenient, and, let's be honest, more tempting to spend money in. So we have these two super successful but very different models, AENA's massive scale and Haneda's obsessive quality. So what does that tell us about where airports are heading? Well, Aena is just doubling down on its growth strategy. If you look at their long-term investment plans, they're planning way ahead. They are proposing a jaw-dropping, almost €13 billion investment plan for the end of this decade and into the next. This is a huge long-term bet on more passengers, more flights, and a lot more commercial opportunities. Haneda, on the other hand, is charting a very different course. Their big bets are all on sustainability. They're shooting for carbon neutrality. They're pushing for sustainable aviation fuels, putting solar cells into their buildings. They're even using wood in new construction to lower their carbon footprint. For them, the future is green.
So here's the real takeaway from all this. Whether it's through massive scale or obsessive quality, the best airports in the world have figured out that they are no longer just bus stops for planes. They are evolving into full-blown commercial destinations in their own right. They're places you go to, not just through.
And that totally changes how we should think about travel. So the next time you're at the airport, just look around. You're not just in a waiting room. You're in a meticulously designed commercial space. And that leaves us with one last thought to chew on. As these places get better and better at this, what completely new experience are they going to dream up to sell us next?